Good morning. What's up, gang? How we doing, party people? It is Wednesday, March 1st. Today is day 21. Day 21 of 30-day challenge. Man, guys, we're on, the last stretch here. So we're getting pretty close, getting down to the wire. Also, today is a very special day. Today is my son's first birthday. Crazy, dude. Crazy. A year ago today, I was in the hospital and just like, man, I wonder what life's gonna be like in a few days. So it's been a freaking blast for anybody that has kids. You already know I'm kind of preaching the choir. For those of you yet to have kids or want to have kids, it's cool. It's awesome. Don't freak out about it. It's like, yeah, it's a lot of work and whatnot, but I mean, it's so fulfilling. Cool. But enough about that. Back to real estate. What do we got going on? So, what happened yesterday? So I got to speak with the one agent on that house. I spoke with him in the afternoon that I made an offer on. So in the conversation I had with him on the phone, basically he was like, I think we could get this done for $250. This is the house that's listed at $279. It has like a lot of clutter and stuff. And he's thinking it could sell for $300, $315 on the back end. Now he's actually flipped like a few houses before. So he knows kind of the rehab and construction costs. So he knows like a little, he's not like, completely naive to flipping houses, the rehab process, or what goes into that. So I spoke with him and he was like, yeah, $250. And he was like, they definitely won't take a lowball offer like in the 180s. And I was like, look, if I'm being completely honest with you, I'm probably like, just at a quick glance at the numbers, I really don't know, but I'm probably going to be in the 200 to 225 range. So I said that to him up front. I was like, let me take a closer look and I'll get back to you today with like a firm number. Because I talked to him more about the house and I talked to him for like 40 minutes. He likes to chat, which is cool. Like there's times where you kind of got to like cut people off. People that really like to talk, sometimes you got to cut them off in order to kind of keep things moving forward or get to that next step. But in this case, in this situation, I let him go on for a while because he was giving good information about the house, the situation. Then he was talking about him flipping houses and whatnot. And so I was able to use that when I kind of, took all the stuff he's talking about and then brought it back around. I was like, okay, you know what it's like. You flipped houses, you're experienced, because then I got to ask him, what is it you really think it'd take to fix it up? And he said 30 to 40 grand. If we were to do it like, just kind of a kind of a light rehab. So I'm like, okay, like that's a good number. I was like, look, if it sells for 300, 315, like, with that rehab and whatnot, I was like, even for me only trying to make like, a 10% for a flipper, I was like, I'm not going to be able to get up to like 250. I'm going to have to be a ways below that. So I got to use his own information that he gave me. And I got to kind of use that, say, hey, look, like even based on what you're saying, like, I'm going to be, 200 to 225, maybe. Right. So I called him back later that afternoon and he was like super cool. He's like, yeah, I totally understand. Like, hey, I can chat to him and we can see. So called him back later that afternoon. And what I did was I was looking at the property through two scenarios. One, I wanted to look at it using his numbers, using that 300 to 315 ARV and a 40K rehab. Then I also, because when I looked at comps, like the way I would pitch it to my investors, there were comps at like 350 and 375. Like same year, like the one that sold for 350, I don't even think was as nice of a house as ours. But we would definitely have to do a higher end rehab. So like the thing you have to ask yourself is like, especially when hey, you can get this ARV, right? If you're like, hey, you can get 30 grand more out of the property, but if it's, hey, you've got to put in 25 grand extra to get 30 grand more out of it, and they're only going to make maybe 5 grand more, like it's not going to be worth it. I think if it was like maybe an extra 10 to maybe 15K, honestly, probably 10, I think they could pull out an extra, 30 to 35 grand. Potentially, yeah, and that's if we said 350 was ARV. And honestly, it could probably, if we were looking at those two houses as comps, it could really be between 350 and 375. So they're like, there's an upside for them to like do the nicer higher end rehab. Now I told him, so pretty much I gave him two scenarios. I was like, look, and I asked him, I was like, if we did like a 3, I was like, and I even picked your higher number. If this could sell for 315, right, and a 40K rehab, blah, blah, blah. I was like, literally, I was like, the absolute highest I could come to is 210. And the conversation before, he told me 250. He was like, I could maybe get them to say yes to 250. Right. So that was the last time we left with our conversation. I was like, look, if for 315, 40K rehab, I could maybe, sorry, my cat's like freaking out back here. We could maybe do, I could maybe get up to 210. Then I said, look, let me ask your opinion. If this was a higher end rehab, what do you think this could sell for? And he was like, well, if it was done really nice, he's like, I think you could maybe get up to 340, like between 340, 350. I was like, okay, like cool. Because what I wanted was, I was trying to feel him out to, if he was like, I mean, there's no way this thing's going to get higher than 315, then there's something he knows that I don't. Right. And I want to figure that out. Because the other thing is, not only is he the agent on this property, but if you guys remember, like, I think the first conversation I had with him, and when I talked with him yesterday, I got brought up again. He like grew up, or like he lives in this neighborhood. Like he knows the in and outs of this neighborhood. Because I even brought up to him, I'm like, look, I was like, there's two comps I'm looking at that kind of make me nervous. And I was wondering if you can give me your feedback. He's like, oh, what's the address? Like I could tell you exactly what. And I gave him the address. I was like, oh, I'm looking at what, and he's just on his phone, like in the car. And he's like, oh yeah, that house. Okay, I know which one you're talking about. Yeah, that one, it's got this on the backside. Or like, oh yeah, it has this unique thing that made it weird. So he was like, yeah, I think get 340 to 350. And he also gave, he was like, the other thing, he's like, right now, he's like, there's this property that's pending. And there's this other house, like there was two houses where he was like, dude, these things are like 2 bedrooms. Like they're a 2-bed, 1 bath, or 2-bedroom, 2-bath. He was like, they're really weird houses. He was like, the one 2-bedroom, like it's cute, but he's like, it's a 2-bedroom, like quirky house. He was like, and it's listed for 379 and is pending. And there was another house that's like just a 2-bedroom, and it was pending like in the mid 300s also. So his thing was, he was also like, dude, I mean, if you just look at that, he was like, dude, even those houses are selling in the mid 3s. So he's like, yeah, like if you do this nice, like you could definitely get mid 3s, I think. So then I told him, I was like, okay, now I used my lower offer first, right? It's kind of that low anchor. Now it wasn't really anchoring that low, but I was like, hey, my lowest offer is 210. And I was like, look, so I said, this is so important. I've talked about this a number of times, and I really want to hammer this home for you guys. This is so important when you're making offers to sellers, to agents, whoever. I said, I was like, look, it would really depend on the walkthrough, because one of the things that makes me nervous is the kitchen, and it really kind of depends on what I think I could do with the kitchen. I was like, but it would really kind of depend on the walkthrough. But if I think the layout of the house, and if I think the high-end rehab could be a good fit, if during the walkthrough, that was good fit. I used it like 4 or 5 times because I really want to make it clear, like, if, like, hey, this isn't if, like, hear me, right? This is what I'm saying to the agent. If it's able to be a good fit for the high-end rehab, I could possibly come up as high as 220, a 220 offer. He was okay. Now, the nice thing was he heard me, like, he heard and understood the if. Some people, they'll hear, as you say 220, they're like, got it, locked in, 220 all day is what he said. I was like, no, that's not what I said. Right? So he heard, got it. He's like, 220, I think. He's like, it's lower than what they would want, but he's like, I think that's a good offer. And he said, thank you. He was actually really appreciative. He's like, well, he was like, I really appreciate you not calling me back and saying your offer is 180. So there's that. That's a big step forward, right? And what I did was the 220 offer, I would rather them say, hey, I think we can move forward on 220 rather than, yeah, let's move forward at 210. Why on earth would I want them to say yes to the higher offer? Because I set that up to where they know there's certain requirements that need to be met in order to hit that 220, right? It's kind of like, I don't know, I can't think of a good analogy off the top of my head, but but what I did was I want them to say yes to the 220 because then it gives me way more leverage, right? As far as, okay, cool. Like, well, then that means like I'm going to get to walk it. I'm going to get to, still kind of renegotiate it if need be. I'm going to be able to get some other people in. Whereas if they say yes to the 210, then it's kind of like, shoot, like, okay, like it's just hard yes to the 210. And like, we got to be able to sell that and make it work, which I do think that's the case. But that's why even when you're talking with your sellers, guys, that first offer, be like, look, we could move forward today, 0-day inspection, here's a non-refundable deposit, whatever. Make that hard offer like stupid low, right? That first offer of like, we can move forward on this today, like no questions asked. You want to make that a no-brainer to where like, it's such a good price, you'll go get the hard money, you will buy, and like, you'll be like, yeah, like there's so much meat on the bone here. Like, I'll do whatever needs to be done because there's money, like a big paycheck to be made here. Start with that and then be like, look, if whatever, then we might be able to come all the way up to, right? Use that language. We might be able to come all the way up to this number, 220. And what that does is that gives you room to do all the things that you need to do, right? And it gives you a lot of leverage to negotiate. So the conversation ended really well. He really liked it. Now, here was the other really, really important thing. I kind of already mentioned this, but same thing when you talk with your sellers and when you make the offer, reiterate, other than just give the price, reiterate all the things, all the bonuses that they're going to get, all the other things that's included with their offer. So what do I mean by that? I was like, look, if I was able to do this, blah, 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 then I think I could come all the way up to 220. And I was like, and again, right? I'm just assuming that he knows. I was like, and again, this offer it'd be an all cash offer, right? No financing contingencies. Don't have to worry about, banks falling out last minute. I was like, we could close, as I said, I know they really want to close by the absolute latest, June 1st. I was like, ideally, I would love to close by April 1st or May 1st, but, we could do like on or before June 1st. And honestly, it's really, I can be flexible to where it's whatever date they want to do. So for me, the sooner the better for me, but whatever date is best for them, the family, whatever timeline they feel comfortable moving on, I can do that. I was like, the other thing, I was like, with clearing out I was like, it's going to be an as-is offer, right? So I'm not going to ask them to make any repairs. I'm not going to ask them to fix anything up. None of that kind of stuff is going to be an issue. I was like, and also, I was like, there's a bunch of clutter. You know, I know you said there's a bunch of stuff in the house that they're kind of working through. I was like, again, you know, please, they can absolutely take whatever it is that they want, you know, anything of value or that they want to keep, you know, absolutely they can take that stuff. And then anything that's junk or that, you know, they need to get rid of, or if they're thinking of like getting a dumpster, they can skip all that. They don't need to do any of that. They can honestly, they can just leave it there and, and, um, and I'll take care of it, you know, no problem. Now, here's the thing. After I said all that, he says, he goes, Nathan, he's like, you know what? He was like, you know, I really appreciate that. He was like, there like really is, and it's crazy. This is the first time I've ever had an agent say this to me. He was like, and I will let them know. He was like, because I believe like everything that you just said, you know, especially like the leaving stuff there, not having to get the dumpster, all that. He was like, he said, this were like his exact words. He goes, there is a true, he's like, I believe there is a true dollar value to those things in your offer. I believe there's a true dollar value to that. I was like, I agree. Right? So sometimes this is how you kind of hear stories about people, or maybe you've had a situation where you're like, dude, like they went, how did this lower offer get accepted? Because of things like this. Right? And it's because when I spoke with the agent, I'm listening for what is their real motivation. Timeline was a massive one. The other thing to keep in the back of the mind, he mentioned that he was like, there's a bunch of family members. This thing's getting split like 5 or 6 different, like it's getting split between a ton of people. So the nice thing that plays into your favor, and you can say these things to the agents so that they're like, oh yeah, like I will mention that to them. The difference between, you know, my offer and someone that's 10 or let's say $15,000 higher than my offer, the people that sign on the agreement say yes. The difference to them is they're like, well, this, I mean, I'd only be getting like 2 to 3 grand more if I went with this other offer. Right? When we look at the big picture, the difference between an offer at 210, right? Or the difference between an offer, my offer at 220 and someone else who's at 235, if you got to split it between a bunch of people, right? If it's like 5 people, we're really talking like 2 or 3 grand. Now to some people, that's a lot of money, right? And I mean, don't get me wrong, it is a lot of money, 2, 3 grand. But when we look at the whole, like the situation, the scenario, it's this is in a house they inherited, and we're talking about over $200,000, right? So that's what, like 20 grand a person? No, it's like 40 grand a person, right? Oh my gosh, why is my math so off? Yeah, like 40 grand a person. So for them, it's like, yo, do you want to make 40 grand, like guaranteed with all these other things 30 days from now? Or do you want to get $43,000, but there's all these headaches, there's all these contingencies, like it could fall through, right? Which would you take? You'd be like, dude, like give me the 40 grand. Like I'll take the 40 grand now. It's like, it's free money anyways. I just want it now. So that's where that's at. So we're going to hear back from him today. He's going to chat with them, and we'll see. So that is that one. Also, got my water today. Thank goodness. I learned my lesson yesterday. Also, the first call I'm going to make is, a guy, Eric, was supposed to walk the house yesterday on Kiwani. That's the one with where the agent's giving me a hard time. And it's at a price that I told her like is going to have to be renegotiated anyways. So I wasn't able to get in touch with the guy yesterday, and she texted me yesterday of like, hey, what's the update? And I didn't get back to her. I was going to get back to her today. The reason why I always get back to somebody, but like this is one to where it's like the last conversation I had with her, it pretty much ended where it's like, okay, well, it sounds like we're going to be canceling this then. So that's why I'm not like, you know, jumping to get back to her right away. Plus, I want to know the feedback of how the walkthrough went, just so I can bring that to her. And then lastly, I'm trying to think. I think that's it for the most part from yesterday. So let's call this dude that's supposed to walk it.
Hello, this is Eric Baum with OfferPad.
Come on, Eric. Didn't even ring. It's supposed to be his cell phone, I think. Yeah, I mean, I texted him at this number. Dude's got it on like do not disturb. Come on, bro. It's like 9:30. What are we doing? What are we doing? All right, let me present my screen. I'm gonna do this. Let's bring this up. All right, let me get all my stuff set up for you guys. Let's get up my Podio. Let's get my emails up. Excuse me. Let's see if we got any new privy deals today to look at. And we do. Ooh, looks like they sent a few. I like that. What's the regarding the contract and the addendum? If you can, please review the portal. Thank you. That was yesterday at 6:30. All right, I'll look at those emails later. The other thing, the one deal that we have with Beachman, everything's moving forward really well with that. We just got the assignment agreement. So that was a bit of a tough conversation, but we were able to get it assignable. They were able to transition it. And that got signed yesterday. And we're just waiting on a few things to clear with title. And then we should be closing that next week. So that will be freaking awesome. Awesome, awesome. Okay, let me share my screen with you guys. Present, share screen, entire screen. Oh, all right. Gotta take a sip of water. Okay. So let me bring up my privy. I will say I've been loving privy. Like this is one of those tools to where yeah, like I don't think I could. And we've kind of talked about tools before. If I was in a market where privy didn't have MLS access, then to be totally honest, I probably wouldn't use privy. If they have access, like if you're in a market to where privy does have MLS access, honestly, like I don't think there's a better tool. Just like the information, the like, dude, this thing's so sick. This has been like a real game changer for me. Now, guys, let me also explain. If you're listening, you're like, oh, well, Nate, I'm like trying to do it here in my local market. Like I don't have privy or whatever the case may be. Guys, it doesn't mean you can't do deals. Like you don't need privy to do deals, right? It's just been a cool tool that we've been using. I've been using. This is my first time using it. But there's a lot of different ways you can get deals. You don't need to do it this way, but this is an awesome way to do it. All right. Let's take a look at this house. Listed today, 3-2. I like it. Built 1959. So I did try to test out like the hedge fund yesterday. I sent him that property, the one I was just telling you I made the offer about last night. It's like a 1955 build, and whatchamacallit. And I knew it was probably too old because I think 1965 for the one hedge fund I was thinking of, that's the oldest that they'll go. But I was like, let me see what they say. And yeah, he immediately, he was like, oh yeah, sorry, bro. He's like, it's too old. I was like, okay. I was like, okay. All right, cool. So let's take a look at here. So we've got a 3-2. And let me just see, where in Orlando are we? Okay, so we're like right here by the airport. So let's see, we've got a 3-2, about 1750 square feet. So this is a 3-2. It's a bit newer. Let's take a look. So ours does not have a garage, unfortunately. No garage. It's got like space for maybe 2 cars there. What's next to it? Oh, that's the other thing that we'll do this morning is maybe we'll try to give Monica a call back on that house yesterday. That was like super trashed. All right, let's look at the comps. So I like this because an investor definitely bought this. What I don't like is it's a 2-car garage. Is it's got the like nice 2-car. Hold on, I want to see the before and after photos. Oh, and is it at like the end of this cul-de-sac? Yeah, it kind of looks like way nicer. So this definitely isn't a good comp. But it just kind of gives me an idea. Oh yeah, it was nice. They did a good job with this. I mean, I don't know what it looked like beforehand because I don't have interior photos before, but now remember yesterday I was talking about on rehabs, the ones that I just in my experience, even in different markets from like Michigan to Connecticut to Florida, like for me, whenever I'm like, oh wow, this house was a flip or they updated it, but it's still sold at a premium even compared to like the other highest comps. It's always been homes where it kind of looks like that, like you see how it's just got that really like yeah, it's really up, but it's not just updated, it's also like got very like modern, and it like I mean this looks like it's got design to it, right? And it's not just like a good clean updated rehab with like newer stuff. It's like no, like this is much better taste than I'd be able to point out. And this is why I don't flip houses, because like I want to be able to pick out stuff like this. I'm like, dude, put in a floor and countertops. Like, what do you mean people care about this? I've got like no vision for like the actual like design and like kind of the artwork of stuff. That is my downfall for sure. And for some of you guys that like you're like, oh, I love that part. I mean, here's a perfect example. Like you can really put those skills to good use. Okay, cool. Let's stop looking at that comp. Exit this out. The thing is so that's all for 526, which I think is this house right here. Yeah, so ours is up here. This is kind of down here. Could be totally different neighborhood. I wouldn't say totally different, but I would almost bet money that there's a bit of a quality price difference, even just from here to here. Let's take a look at this one. All right, this one's over here, and we kind of got across this major roadway. I don't really like it, but I just want to take a quick look. Okay, it's a 4.3, 2,000 square feet. Now, what I'm looking at here is it even shows you if they changed, like if they added a bedroom or bathroom to it. That's good to know, because if we have the same square footage and the same layout, and we're like, ooh, everyone's comping this as like a 3.2. But this house is the same exact like year built, same layout, same square footage. I know nothing about how to add a bedroom or bathroom or like that kind of stuff. But the dude that flipped this house does. And so I'm going to call him because I know like he's going to be able to view it through this light. And so he might be able to pay a better price than anybody else. Or he might be able to buy a deal that everyone else is saying no to because they're only looking at it as it being a 3.2. All right, let's look at some of these comps. All right, so this is the one that we just looked at. Now the good thing is that did sell in February for 526. Even if it's not a comp, like we can still use that as like, bro, like people are still buying houses at good prices, right? Even during the winter. But then we got all these in like the mid high threes. So ours is a 59. Let's look at this. This is a 4.2. Ours is a 3.2. This one's a little bit too new, but yeah, and it's got a 2-car garage. 359. It's got a 4.2. Sold right at the end of December. Dude, that is a blue floor. Oh my goodness. Oh, I think they're redoing it. Yeah, I'm an idiot. And it's got an in-ground pool. I don't know if I like that or don't like that. I feel like this has got to be almost like a safety hazard. Like you step out the back door and it's like you're swimming. You're swimming. So yeah, just off a quick glance, I think 310 is probably retail. Let's see, 1968, 66. I'm gonna find another 1959. But most of these are 4 bedrooms. That's the one that, yeah. So I'm gonna fail this one because it's priced at 310. It just listed today, and like every one of these houses we're looking at has something better about it. And there's no pictures of the interior. Hold on, let's read it. Spacious 3.2 with a bonus room home. Okay, bonus room, so could potentially be a 4th bedroom. Yeah, okay. Look at that. Just shut up and read, Nate. Come on. No HOA. So I'm looking for where they tell me, yo, here's this line as far as we're looking for a cash offer. So the home was recently repainted to add a modern look, as well as landscape completed recently. Why I want to put this into Redfin. So if there's another thing you've noticed with the agents that we've called, have you noticed almost like everyone out of the biggest price drops we got and like some of the hottest leads from us talking with agents, I spit my tongue. They all okay, yeah, here's the photo. They all came from houses that they didn't have like any pictures posted or almost no pictures posted. But so for whatever reason, they're just not registering on Privy. I don't know if that's a thing where like it depends how they upload it, but they're here on Redfin, and it looks nice. So we're gonna fail this one. Failed soft vets, and on to the next one. And we're also going to try calling Eric real quick. So want to get a hold of him. I'd really like for you guys to hear that conversation when I have to call Paula, the agent, back, because she's probably going to be pissed. And I know a lot of people are like, you're scared of like an agent being upset or this or that. So I just want you to see what that would look like.
Hello, this is Eric Baum.
Eric.
With OfferPad.
Killing me, Smalls.
Leave me a message and I'll get back to you. a great day.
Sorry, mailbox is full. To send an
Killing me, bro. Killing me. Killing me, dude. Hey, Eric. You available for a call? All right. Let's look at this house. This isn't Kissimmee. 235. We like that sub 300 price range. So just like taking a quick look, when somebody takes an up close picture and it looks of something like random, you don't really know what it is. All I know, without even looking at it, is like this is something that they believe to be important for rehab, and it's not something good, right? They're not taking it up close of like, look how amazing this like tiny detail is. No, it's more like, hey guys, here's an issue. Like, just look at this picture before you call me and make an offer because you're gonna need to fix this. All right. Is this an REO? You can remodel the property for investment or to live. You have to change the roof. It's an interesting way of putting it. You have to change the roof. And do interior remodeling. All right, let's take a look at some comps. So 235. Let's look at some of these. What's the front of our house look like again? Let's do street view. So 2-car garage. It's got that. What's next to it? Okay. What's this house? Okay. All right, let's go back to comps. Let's look at this. So what I didn't even look. What years what year so ours is a 4.2, 2-car garage, 1973. And about 1,700 square feet. Let's zoom back into how we were before. What was the one I clicked on? Was it this one? Yeah. So let's look at this 275. So 4.2, same. So literally, this is the same exact house. All right. So ARV. I mean, we can. When did this sell? Sold in August. That's annoying. So an as is in August sold for 275. I have a feeling, I don't know why, but I feel like this house is an REO. So this is a 3.2. Let's take a look at this one. Now, again, guys, we talked about that modern look. It's only got a 1-car garage. It's 3-bedroom. Ours is 4. So I think it's a little bit. I think it's about 100 square feet smaller. So not a huge deal. Okay, and this sold end of October. So I like this better than the other one. Now, what else we got? Let's go down here. I want to take a look at some investors. So we bought this 201, sold for 365, but it's a very different house. I'm not crazy about looking at this as a comp, but it gives me an idea, at least, of what kind of margins are they looking for? What type of houses are they working with? Let's take a look at this one. So this is actively listed. So bought this for 230, listed for 343. Okay, I like that idea. Now, here's another good thing. This has been listed. That's really hard to see that. Dang, boy, 166 days. So that ain't good. Oh, well, okay. Pool home, sellers offering $5,000 concession. Did they rehab it and just not do the pool? Yeah, so they rehabbed it. So we like this dude. Like, this is a guy that we want to call about this house, but I want someone to explain it to me. Why would you? I don't know what it costs to like repair the pool. I mean, I'm sure it's not cheap, but I mean, to me, like, this is such a deal killer. I feel like for so many, like, nobody wants to buy a brand new house with an effed up pool. I don't know. I could be wrong. Maybe that's a normal thing for Florida, but I wouldn't want to. All right, so I'm gonna pass this. Just on face value, I'm seeing guys buy for like, this one was bought at 230, this one was bought at 201. Not saying these are hybrid comps, but they're buying at like the 200s. This is listed for 235. Do I think somebody could buy it for 200? Potentially. Right now, maybe I need it at 190 or 180, or maybe I could sell it at 210. I don't know the exact numbers yet, but it's at the point where I'm like, okay, it's worth a phone call. Worth a phone call. So let's add this. Florida. No, why is that red? Who we got? Diana? Right? Yeah. All right, let's look her up. Diana Garcia Medrano. All right, cool. You know what? Let's just call her up right now. Well, how many? I don't think we have that many to look through. What do we got? We've got two. We've already looked at this house. Let's just call it right now. We've got it right in front of us. We've been looking at it. There's like nothing in the notes. Love it. All right, Diana, come on, answer the phone. Let's start the day off right. 4686. Despite all those other unanswered calls, come on, Diana.
Hello.
Hey, Diana.
Yes.
Hey, this is Nathan. How are you doing?
I'm fine.
I was calling. I saw a listing of yours. I believe you just posted this morning on Chip Court.
Yes.
Yeah, I was just calling to see if you had a minute to chat about it, but it sounds like I might have caught you in the middle of something.
No, I tried to walk in to open a house. That's it.
Oh, okay. So I was calling. I was taking a look at it. I'm interested. I was looking at it as a possible investment property.
Yes.
And I was wondering if you could kind of tell me a little bit about it. Anything in particular that you think would be important for someone like me to know.
I buy the house for do a flip, and the person to going to do with me, my partner. He for the market say they don't want to continue.
Okay.
I take a loan for buy the property. If they don't going to be with me, I take a loan with repair, but I only take the loan for buy the property. And
Okay.
now I need to sell because I don't have the money to do the repair. And that is the reason I put in sell. I have 3 months with the house, pay the mortgage. I buy in 200, and that is the reason I put in sell. I clean the house. I take out everything. The house need to repair the roof, the plumbing, in the one bathroom. You see in the picture. I put all picture, and that is the more important. The everything the other is fine. The house is big. The neighborhood is good, and only for this reason. If I have the money, I repair and put in rent because I know the market later is going to be better. If I have the money, I repair and put in sell. Depend on when I finish, but I can't because I don't have the money to do the repair.
Got it. Okay. So, okay, understood. Okay, got it. So let me just make sure I kind of understand. So you bought the house. So it sounds, so you said you bought it and there's a mortgage for like 200,000. Is that correct?
No, I buy the house. I have a mortgage. I buy the house in 200 because it's a wholesale. And they say one price. We have 2 closing. I have a loan for the money I buy the house is 180 something like that. I don't remember exactly how much it is. I paid monthly the mortgage, but I don't ask for give me money for do the repair. But later the person is going to do the repair with me. Don't want to come to be my partner. That is the reason I sold. That is the only reason because I like the house, I like the project, and I like everything.
Got it. Okay, so you bought the house from a wholesaler.
Yes.
Okay, got it. Okay, so you bought it from a wholesaler. You love the house. It's just yeah, the partner that was going to bring the money. So is it like a bank loan or are you working with like a hard money lender?
I work with hard money lender.
Got it. Okay. And how much time do you have left?
Sorry?
How much time do you have left? Because when did you buy it just recently?
No, I buy in October.
Okay.
I wait for the person because he have other project, and when they finish the project, he tell me they don't going to do that project with me. That is the reason I wait 3 months to wait for him. That is really bad for me. Yes.
Okay, got it. What do you think? So for the house, what do you think it would cost to do all the repairs?
What my cost? No, the cost for repair is the roof and inside the roof. I have an estimate for 13,000. It's good because I have order for 16. 16, yes, I have, but the berry is 13,000. 13000 for the roof, and I have 45,000 for repair inside. The 2 bathroom new, and the kitchen new, and floor for the whole house. Everything changed. That is my estimate I have it for do the repair.
Okay, so for the roof, you have 13,000 13, yes?
I'm sorry, repeat please.
For the roof, you said 13,000 13.
Yes, I have one estimate for that.
And then for the whole rest of the house, you think it would cost
45,000, yes.
Okay. And that's to do, you said the 2 bathrooms, flooring.
The new kitchen, some in the new, they need to change different sheetrock and do the texture, and in the roof they need to change some part. Everything. They're going to have the new house completely remodeling.
Okay, and that is that including like the plumbing and everything too? You there, Diana? I think I might have lost her. Diana, can you hear me? All right, we're gonna call her back. So real quick, guys, come on, man. Dude, there's so now here's one to where you actually might hear me get talk about kind of creative offers. She just texted me. Oh no, that's not Diana. That's Daniel. I got a text and I saw like I thought it said Diana because that's who we're talking to, but I don't have her saved in my phone. And I look at the text and it's like, oh, I found a good number of things that happened on Noah's birthday. My son's name is Noah, and I was like, I'm pretty sure that's not Diana. All right, let's call Diana back. Sorry, guys.
Hello.
Hey, Diana. Sorry, I think we got disconnected there.
Yes. And that is the more important in the house. I know the plumbing is going to be in the estimate. The plumbing, the electric is good. They need to put a new AC. Let me see what's going on more. That is the more important. They have one garage door. They have the motor, and the other is no have motor and don't have the correct door. They're going to put the correct door because one door is no. Is they take the normal door, you know, and they put something for because they have a little. I don't know if they do something in the garage in one part and they take the doors and they don't open.
Okay. Okay, got it. Do you know how much is the plumbing and the AC? Is that included in that 45,000 or are those separate? Oh, I think I lost her again. I think it's definitely separate.
Yes, it's included.
Okay, it's included in that 45?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Okay, got it. So, and then for this house, what did you think it could sell for after it's all fixed up?
In the area, it's 285 to 90, depends, to 310, something like that, depends, everything. But this house is for room, you know, and they can put other more room if change to a space. They have close to put other more room. They're going to have 5 room.
Okay. So you think it could sell for like 280 to 310, somewhere in that range? You're thinking
280 to 310, depend the remodelation on everything.
Okay. Okay, got it. Now I know you bought it. I know kind of in a tough spot, looking to sell it. What I guess what price is it you really need to be at in order for you to be able to sell the property and everything?
I'm going to lose money in this house, you know, because I have 3 months pay everything, the interest and everything, and I pay the closing. You know, when it's wholesale, you pay the close for the seller and the close for your buyer. I'm going to lose money, but I don't want to continue to have something if I can repair, you know?
Yeah.
I'm really, really, really near for everything. I'm going to lose every money I pay for the mortgage. And I don't know how much I'm going to lose money, but I open to the offer and I'm going to do the numbers, you know?
What I mean, ideally, if I can purchase it without you losing money. I mean, that's what I would love to do. I guess what I mean, kind of just, I mean, I know if it were to sell for 280 to 310, and between the roof and then 45, I mean, so that's, we're talking about a $60,000 total job, which I think sounds spot on. I agree with you there. Now, of course, I wouldn't. I know you have it listed here for 235. Obviously, with the $60,000 rehab, if it would sell for somewhere to 280 to 300, I wouldn't be able to pay 235. I guess
I know.
I want to try to help you out the most that I can. What price do you think you would really need to be at?
Okay, let me see my numbers now. If you want it, if you get better, let me see the loan, what I need to pay. Let me ask, and I'm going to call you again. Let me see my number. Okay.
Okay, sounds good, Diana.
Today, other person called me to go to see their son at the general contractor for the house to see everything. I want you and the other person, is two person called me today.
Okay.
They want to buy for repair, And he sent the person to try to send me an offer. But let me see the number and I call you back, okay?
Okay, sounds good, Diana.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Come on, guys. Gosh, man. Getting crazy over here in Florida. Man, I love phone calls like that. All right, let's break it down. What on earth, Nate? Why are you going so nuts over that phone call? Bruh, let me explain it. So, guys, what did she talk about? Dude, she bought this to flip the house. She bought it from a wholesaler, which, right? So I asked her. So here's another thing. Like, I'll ask people questions that I already know the answer to, right? Like, I know I could look at exactly what she bought it for. I know I could ask her how much she owes, right? Or roughly. But I want her to say these things because as she's telling me, it's like we're building trust with each step. And the more she kind of tells me, the more she's going to open up, and kind of the more commitment, the more trust, and the more rapport we're going to have, right? So I know she bought it for this, right? I know she bought it in October, but I'm asking her these things anyways, because I'm also trying to see, like, is she holding stuff back from me? Like, is she like, oh, I just bought it like recently, or like, oh, she's like, I paid like 210, 220 for, right? Then I'd be like, yeah, no, okay, like she's holding stuff back, and we got to play the game. It sounds like she's just being straight up with us, right? Which I love that, because then we can be just straight up with her. And I like that. I like being able to be like just super transparent and direct. So she's going to look at, now the other thing, she's like, dude, I'm going to lose money on this. The great thing with this kind of scenario is it's like everybody can just talk with like all the chips on the table, right? Like all your cards on the table. She's like, dude, I'm gonna lose money on this, right? What am I telling her? Like, hey, I would love to try and work something out to where you don't lose money, right? So I'm letting her know, look, I'm on your side. Like, I don't want you to lose money. Like, that sucks. She's gonna let me know what price she needs to be at, right? I'm not just giving her a number, right? I'm like, I know you have a list for 235, right? We talked about this morning. Right. And I love that you guys got to see it. I'm like, based on your rehab, I was like, you said the roof's this, you said the inside is this, which I love because I already know the rehab, right? She's pretty spot on. So I'm going to use that 60K for repairs. And, I'm saying, like, look, 235. She says it'll sell from 280 to 310. Right. And I'm like, look, based on your numbers, I was like, obviously, I wouldn't be able to pay that. Right. So I'm using social proof. I'm using the information that she gave us. And she's like, yeah. Right. She's like, let me take a look. I'm like, hey, what price do you really need to be at? Right. And then she's like, oh, I'm going to lose money, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, look, I don't want you to lose money, but what price, like, do you really need to be at? So she's going to get back now. She's got another person looking at this deal. We also, like, we just called her. She's motivated. She also, she's one of those people like where she's cool with like just laying all the cards on the table. She's like, here's a situation. I need someone that can take care of this for me like now. So like, I'm not going to wait till like 4 o'clock this afternoon and be like, oh man, I haven't heard from her. I'm probably going to call her back in like, honestly, probably like right at 11. Like I'll give her an hour, but I'll call back. The other thing, I didn't do it on the phone just now, but I'm going to bring it up to her. And this is huge because I want her to let me know. I want her to think like the only option is like I buy it from her and she's looking up to let me know, hey, this is the absolute minimum. Once we now know the bottom price, once we've agreed on price, basically, right? Not saying I can pay that, but it's like, okay, we were at least like we're at this number. Then I'll bring up creative options, right? Well, hey, Diana, let me ask you this. What if instead of buying it, what if we were to partner on it, right? What if I were able to bring a partner to the table? Guys, what are you talking about? Are you talking about like taking it over subject to? No, we're not talking about that. We're talking about what if I could bring one of my flippers that I have a relationship with and be like, hey, here's the situation. You only need to bring the rehab money to the table and just finish this deal. And you and this lady can split profits. And you can pay me a fee up front. Right? So that's probably what I'm going to pitch to her. Because honestly, I do kind of want to, it kind of sucks, her situation. And that's one of the things is like, I'll be honest with her. I'll be like, look, if she comes back to me, she's like, I need to be at, she bought it for 175, what she probably paid like 2-3 points. She's like 6 months, we'll say 5-6 months into payments. So she's probably got about, I don't know, like 10-ish grand, like just in hard money costs. So if she bought at 175, she probably needs like right around 200,000, like for her to break even. That's what I think she's going to come back with. And like when I first took a look at this house, that's just what I thought we'd be able to get it for, possibly. Now 200 might be a little slim. We'll see. But like if I'm also pitching it to a guy where it's like, dude, you only need to bring your rehab costs to the table, like that makes this a much lower risk because he's not getting ownership in a property for honestly $0. And it's the only money he's putting into the house is the money that's like adding value to the house. So it's significantly lower risk. He doesn't have to take out hard money and all that stuff. So it can be a really good win-win for everybody. She's able to not lose money, and everyone can kind of be happy with it. So this one we added. I'm gonna mark this as yellow. I'm gonna save. And then let me save her number. Any of you guys have any questions on that? I know that was kind of a unique one. But that's kind of what we're going to try to do is we're going to see what the number is that she says that she needs. And then from there, if it really is, if she comes back, she's like, look, if you can give me like 180, 185, that'd be great. The other thing is I'm not throwing in there because the other thing is I don't want to present options that she's not interested in. Right. So I'm not being like, well, I could do this. Like, what if I partnered with you on it or I brought a partner to the table? He could do the rehab, blah, blah. Like, honestly, there's a strong chance where like, if it were me, I would be like, dude, I'd probably rather take like a 5K loss than partner with somebody who I have no clue who they are. And because there's so many things that could get messy with the partnership, the relationship, the agreements. Are they going to do a good job? Is she going to have to continue making the payment? What does all that look like? Right? There's a lot that goes into that. So I don't want to present that up front if it's something she's not even interested in. Right. So once we kind of find out a number, then I'll just lightly bring up like, hey, I don't know if it would be a good fit. Right. Kind of like what we do with all our other offers, where we're like, if, right, we're kind of putting an if, like, hey, I don't know if this would be a good fit. Hey, I'm not sure if this is something that would really work. But is this, would you be open to if we were to partner, or if I was able to if I had someone that I think would be a really good fit for you, that could partner and finish the rehab, and you guys could, split it somehow at the end? Is that something that you have any interest in, or not at all? Right? She could be like, I'd be open to it if it's the right person. Okay. Right? Or she might just be like, no, like, I mean, she might be like, look, I appreciate the, the thought, but no, I don't like partnering with anyone else. I just kind of, I understand I'm not going to make money on this. I'm probably going to lose a little bit, but I'd really rather just cash out. And, okay, cool. Then that's all we talk about. And I'm not going to even go into those other options because that would just hurt rapport. Cool. Keith, that was great. Awesome, man. Glad you like it. You liked it, Matt. What's up, brother? Thumbs up. All right, cool. What else we got? So that was a good call. I'm glad you guys got to see that one. Now, the other thing is, if she comes back with a cash number, she's like, hey, I need this, like 180. And if we're like, yeah, 100%, we can make 180 work. Yeah, I'm just going to do the 180. Like, if you can make the cash deal, the cash offer work, guys, go the simple route. It's the simplest, it's the easiest, it's the fastest. We always start there. All the other kind of options are just tools in our tool belt if like option A doesn't work. Let's look at this beauty. Okay, we've got a 2-1, less than 900 square feet. Already love it. That's sarcasm, guys. I don't like 2 bedrooms. I don't like houses like this. I know some people look at this, they're like, oh, dude, like, yo, it's wholesaling. We love these properties. We want the nastiest houses. Yeah, to a degree. You're right. Like, you want kind of nasty, right? Like, you want kind of nasty, like, ooh, this could be a nicer house. That's what we're looking for. This house, we don't want this house. My opinion. There's people that are going to disagree with me. That's okay. Teach their own. But, dude, this is going to be a hard house to move. Like, let's just look at comps real quick. Let's take a peek. So we've got this house. So, like, yeah, this is what I'm talking about. This dude bought it for 40 grand. Now he sold it for 240 on the back end. Probably a really good payday for him. But like, I'm just curious. Let's look at it before and after. Scroll up, before and after. Yeah, wow, this dude, he did nice. Now, like just from looking on the outside of this house, he bought that for 40 grand. We can't really see much, but you can kind of get an idea. We're looking at this. He bought for 40 grand versus this, right? Big difference. Even if we got this for 40 grand, I don't think anyone's gonna touch it. I don't think anyone's going to that. And it's like, you're going to do all this work and you get a lot of like, you're going to have a really hard time selling it to buyers. Like you're going to have to work really hard there. It's going to be like at this price point, like these are the sellers who are typically going to fight you tooth and nail, like over every penny. Like to get this guy from go to 89,000 to like 84,000, like you're going to have to throw in like all the tactics, like all the lines, like all of it. Right. And this is the kind of house where like, dude, you'll make like 3-4 grand maybe. Now, one of you guys, you're more than welcome to call it because somebody else could make money on this. I could be wrong. I would love for you guys to prove me wrong and make money. I'd be very happy for you. But I don't want that. I want something else. I want Diana's house. That's what I want. Now we looked at this one. Yeah, we spoke with Jeff. I wish I remembered my conversation with Jeff. We spoke with Jeff already, right? So if we spoke with Jeff, he'd be in green. Dude, I know we called Jeff. Here he is. Guys, we spoke with Jeff, right? Like we spoke with him. Am I going crazy here? We spoke with him last week, I think it was. We put it in past. Let me see. Did I add him in my follow-ups? Oh, realtors. Oh man, we got some follow-ups we got to do. There's Eric. Man, no, I don't have Jeff here. Let me look at my cell phone and see if I like texted with him. Oh, let me save Diana's number first because I do not want to forget. Now, the other thing that she mentioned is she's got somebody going to walk it today. So like, we don't want to sleep on it, right? The nice thing with when talking to sellers is when you're doing like off market, depends on your market, depends on a lot of things, but typically I would say that like the timeline's shorter, for MLS deals versus off market. Especially if it's like the house that we called, she also just listed it today. If it's a property that's been listed for like 50 days, that's one thing. For like 50 or 150 days, that's a different story. But if it's like, oh, it just listed today, even if it's a little bit of a high price, like there's going to be like people are going to reach out. Diana. Is it Diana? Diana. What are we thinking? Is it Garcia? Medrano? I'm just gonna put Garcia. Our reagent. Orlando. And I'm just going to make a note here. Another thing, guys, you can't really see me doing. I don't know if you guys were able to pick up on it from like the body language. When I'm talking to these agents, I'm taking notes, right? And so like the things I'm writing down is specifically the things that are really important for me that I'm going to want to like come back to. So the really big ones being, like she said, the roof, they have a quote for $13,000. The total rehab being $45,000. Just clarifying, she said it needs roof, plumbing. She said the electric's good, needs AC, and the rehab included doing 2 bathrooms, flooring, new kitchen, and she was thinking ARV's this. That's like the important stuff. I could have asked some more questions. But I mean, that's the gist. That's really all I needed for right now. Okay. Cool. What was I gonna make a note? Call Diana back. Make offer. Oh. All right, this house. We were gonna see if we had texted with Jeff. Jeff. As is with right to inspect, sworn buyer's responsibility to verify all room measurements, utilities info. Was it because this was an REO? Is that it? Drive me crazy. Let's just call him. Now let's make sure it's the same address we have here. Yeah. Yes, 922. Maybe we've called and left voicemails. I don't know. What else did I have today? Oh, and then we'll do that call after this. All right, let's call Jeff. 727. Now, you might be like, whoa, Nate, like, did you call him? Did you not call him? Like, dude, this could be an awkward conversation. Like, you don't want to call and, like, sound stupid if you already called him, right? That would look unprofessional. So here's how we do it.
Good morning, this is Jeff.
Hey, Jeff, it's Nathan.
Hey, what's up, buddy?
Not too much. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I was just calling you, man. A property just kind of popped up in my email, and I know I looked at it, but I couldn't remember if we actually spoke about it. I apologize. I'm looking at so many different here, so maybe you could just kind of refresh me. I was looking at the house on 922. I'm saying in Concord. Am I saying that right?
I think so. Yeah, the seller's not going to accept any kind of assignable contract.
Right. Did we chat about this house before?
I believe so. Yes, sir.
Okay, got it. Hey, I'm trying to remember. You do some wholesaling and work with investors yourself, right?
No wholesaling, but yes, I do work with investors.
Okay, got it. And this house wasn't able to be a fit for them?
Definitely not. No, yeah. Anything that I do, honestly, I don't let my sellers accept wholesale contracts.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't be looking to do like a wholesale contract or an assignable contract. But I mean, like, just as far as like the price that your sellers are looking to get for it and what your buyers would be able to pay, just from them looking at it, it's not able to be a good fit for them.
I'm not sure the question you're asking. Forgive me.
I guess I've just, rather than kind of asking you, details about the property, if kind of, I know you've got a network of your own buyers and investors. I was just kind of asking, like, did they already take a look at it? And yeah, this, the number that the seller needs just wouldn't be a good fit for a deal, or, and they're looking for like a different kind of buyer.
I gotcha. I haven't sent this to my buyers specifically, just because this kind of gets posted on MLS, and I let nature take its course, kind of thing. I think we have like 13 backup offers on this, so I'm waiting on the seller to decide if he wants to pick the top 3 and negotiate those, or if he wants to go to highest and best.
Oh, okay, awesome, Scott. So it sounds like this one's already a done deal for you guys.
I hope so, but that's what
yeah, knock on wood. I don't want to jinx it for you.
No worries, brother.
Cool. All right. Well, sounds good, Jeff. Yeah, no worries. I'll probably just pass on this one for right now. I know you got a bunch on the table already. That's awesome. Yeah, maybe on the next one.
Yeah, no problem, brother.
All right. Thanks, Jeff. Have a good one.
You too. All right, bye.
Bye. Boom. Look at that. And we did call him. Right? Wasn't that crazy? Wasn't terrible. Oh my gosh, wasn't like super cringy, or maybe it was. I don't know. But either way, we're still alive and we're here. So, a couple of things. He was like, "Yeah, he can't wholesale it. We won't do an assignable contract." Guys, the thing with agents, they're never going to want to do an assignable contract. Almost never. So what is it? Pretty much our go-to is we would be double closing, pretty much everything. The other thing is, like on the Beachman house, you can go into a contract, be able to double close it, right? Like have that be kind of step one. And then if it makes sense or whatever the circumstances are, if you're like, oh no, we really want to make this assignable, that can get negotiated at a later point in time when people are way more open to it, right? Like if you've got EMD there, like you've got a buyer lined up, like everybody's committed to the deal, they know you're committed, and it's just like, hey, can we switch this thing to be assignable? You can always bring that up. Like it doesn't have to be on the initial contract, right? You can always do a signed addendum later on. Cool. But guys, only do that if it's a deal that like you can close, right? Don't just be like throwing up EMD money and losing a bunch of cash because you're like, oh, I was going to try to assign it later. That's not what I'm saying either. This property, we'll fail it for right now. Now the other thing is like just kind of on the chat with Jeff, like he's very, like you could tell just by his tone, how he's talking, like he's very familiar with wholesaling, working with investors. This property was it like they've got 13 offers. Cool. I'm not looking to compete with offers like that. That's just, this isn't the scenario that I'm going to be a good fit for. Also he's like, yeah, bro, this one's not going to be unsignable. We're not going to be able to wholesale it. This would be a really tough property to kind of navigate with him and bringing another buyer to the table, even if you're double closing it, right? Because me, I like to be just pretty transparent and honest. So like, even if I was like, hey man, not sure if I'll be able to buy it, but I'll bring some other people. If I can't buy it, usually it's a good fit for one of them. He's just gonna be like, nah, dude, we've got 13 other ones, like 13 other offers on table, not interested. Cool, and that is all our privy deals for today. Okay, who was it I wanted to call with you guys? It was the Nina property. All right, I actually want to keep this one up, so don't forget about it. 8-chip court in Kissimmee. It's doing the thing again. All right, fine. Okay, Privy, we'll exit you out. We'll bring up a new one. Let's get rid of this. This. All right. Cool. So I have that there, so I can quickly go back to it when Diana calls me. Diana. Now Alan needs your signatures and a real signature on the addendum. Would you like me to send it to for express buyers? Well, they shouldn't need my signature. Title companies needing title stuff. All right, where is that one? Nina, here we go. Where is this one? Orlando. So this is that really trash house. So guys, other thing, we want to be human beings. We want to work in like an ethical way. So like this house, right? Diana, dude, like they kind of poured their hearts out about the situation, and it's like they've got a lot going on. Like, don't mislead people. Don't like toy people around, or don't like be locking up contracts, making commitments that you can't keep. I mean, one, you should never do it, but like especially, dude, like these are scenarios to where it can have a big impact on people. Like Diana's situation, that could be if someone were to kind of like string her along trying to wholesale the property and they lock it up too high, and a contract for whatever, I don't think she would sign something like that, but but like that could really, like with the hard money and whatnot, that could cause big time problems for her. So we really just want to make sure with Diana, with these kind of circumstances, you want to almost be like overly transparent. And this woman, right, Monica, the agent, she was great. We spoke with her yesterday. She was like, yeah, we're really trying to avoid wholesaling it. All right, so we'll get to kind of navigate that conversation. But this guy, he's just like, dude, I'm done. I want somebody to just buy it and like not have to deal with anything. Now the funny thing is, like, she says they're trying to avoid wholesaling, but you also kind of got to translate that in different ways. It's not wholesaling that she has an issue with. The issue is she doesn't want to keep going into a contract without the person being committed to the deal so that they could shop it around. If I were to tell her, look, I have a guy, he can put down 10,000 non-refundable, we can close in 2 weeks, and yes, he's going to pay me a fee, she's not going to have an issue with that. All right? Or at least I don't think so. So let's look at some comps for this house. Now, the nice thing is she did give us some numbers. So yeah, she got a quote for $7,000 to tear down this shack thing right here, and then $5,000 to remove all the debris. Now she said like a lot of this has been cleared up. Like it's not as bad as it looks here. Excuse me. They're clear once soldiers clear them and the reinspection. Okay, I'll look at that later. So let's look at what do we think this could sell for. The other thing is, like, a buyer's not going to want to do a project like this and just want to make like 10%. This is going to be kind of a big rehab. So we're going to have to make sure that there's like a good margin for the end buyer, for them taking kind of the extra risk, because it's not an amazing property. It's definitely not like an amazing lot, not an amazing location. So for that kind of added risk, doing a big rehab on a not fantastic property, there better be extra room for it to be worth their while. So ours is a 4.2, 1,900 square feet, built 1952. The other thing is ours is like right here. So let's look at some of this. Now, the one thing, I don't think we're going to find a comp that really looks just like our house, because our house is just, it's a piece of work. I'm trying to get an idea, what are people at least buying at? So they're buying at like, low twos for flips. But these are also nicer houses. So let's see. This is a 52. It's 3.2. Oh yeah, we looked at this. This is nice though. What's right here? So on the low end, I'm not seeing anything sell for, or let's actually switch the settings to all. That's much more helpful. I want to look what's right here. Now, this is going to have water right behind it. Let's take a look, just because this is super close. It doesn't have a garage, which I like. This sold in November. I like that. It's got an in-ground pool. That doesn't help us. Sold for $315. Huh. Let's look at previous. So, what was this, like a 3-year flip? So I wouldn't really look at this as flip price. So you look at this and you're like, oh, dude, like, yeah, 100%, man, this was flipped. Not necessarily, right? Because it was bought like this 3 years. Some people, they buy houses and they like to redo everything. I know a close, I'd almost call him like a mentor of mine. He like moves every like 2 years. And when he buys a place, he does the same thing. Like he buys it and then like he'll update all the, and it could already be like updated new, and like he still puts in like brand new, like really nice kitchen and flooring and bathrooms and all that stuff. But like he's not a flipper by any means. So this, okay, here we go. So it didn't tell. So this was bought for $175. In 2022, and they listed at $325. Okay, so this was a flip. That's why we look here. So these would be the people that I would call on this house. Now, but I can't just take like, one, we can't take this as our ARV. They've got the in-ground pool. 2, it sold. I mean, it shows up here that it's sold in November, but for us to keep in mind, it went under contract last summer. And they picked this house up at $175, right? So like they were buying this at $175. This is a lot nicer than ours at $175. The other thing, let's look at a street view. This is on like nice paved road, right? Much more standard. Now, ours should be like right. Yeah, so ours is this thing right here. So I like using it as a good reference guide. The other thing is, how old is ours? Ours is a 52. That's like a 19. This comp, well, not really comp, but this house is a 1981. So I would almost want to put like our ARV around like 250-ish, like just without like just based like this sold for 315. I was like, man, our guys are probably gonna be like, yeah, 250 maybe. That's what they're gonna be thinking. They're gonna be like super low, super conservative on a house like this. Let's see, 3.2, 1960. All right, we're getting closer. Let's take a quick look at this. This looks nice. It was probably a flip. Cool. So they bought that at 178. Okay, so that's good to know. So they bought the one at 175. They bought, well, 2 different companies, right? But in the 170s. And both similar. They're like 3 2s, no garages, update rehab house. And this one also sold in November, 285. So, okay, I would make this a little bit closer. Like, okay, I think our comp could be more like 285. Now, just real quick, when did they list it? They listed like the same exact time as that other house. And so that first week, they went under contract quick. Now, guys, even flippers, they will accept lower offers that are. I was just talking to a flipper, he was telling a story about it. This was a few months ago. And he was explaining, he was like, dude, we just finished, this is a guy in Connecticut. He was like, we just finished a flip and we took an offer that was like 30,000 less than another offer. That's a lot of money. And the reason being is because, you know, there's a lot going on with the market. The offer, even the offer that was $30,000 less, like that was still a good offer for them. Like they're in the money, they're making the profit margin that they wanted, like they're happy. The other thing was, it was like, yo, cash offer, can close quick, you know, no contingencies, like solid buyer. The other offer, it was some specific things with like their banks and like the financing and whatnot. Like there was a lot more risk with that offer, a lot more chances that it could fall through. Some people, they want to risk it for the biscuit, right? Now 30 grand, that's a good chunk of change, right? So it's definitely worth considering. But even guys, we like certainty, right? Like a lot of flippers, they like certainty. They like buying the houses. They like having certainty. Okay, I'm like almost certain that ARV can be this. Same thing on the back end, right? They like offers that have certainty rather than taking the chance of losing money. Now the other thing I like is these are both right here. What are some of these lower ones? 2 hundo and a cul-de-sac. So honestly, I think somebody to buy this house, I think we would need to be close to like 100. I think if I were able to get this guy, like that's kind of what I'm gonna say to her is like, I'm honestly probably gonna need to be close to half of this. And see what she says and like feel it out. I would at least need to be less than 150. I wouldn't be interested in sending anybody here. If you're like, oh, but the other ones they sold at 175. Yeah, but those houses were way nicer projects than this one. You know, this house is in rough shape and it's not as pretty of a lot and layout as the other ones. The other ones are a bit more like cookie cutter. So this one, there's going to need to be extra meat on that bone for the buyer. So let's call her up and see what she says. And now again, when we talk to her, we're also going to mention things about our offer that, you know, has to do with more than just the price. So, and especially, right, if there's one thing that we picked up in our conversation with her yesterday, this guy, he really cares about the other things in the offer other than just the price, right? That's really important to him. So things like non-refundable earnest, things like closing timeline, any other types of contingencies, like, so we're going to use that to our favor. Let's call her up. 407 432 8550.
You've reached Monica Arias with LP.
We're gonna call her again.
reached Monica Arias with LPT Realty. I am unable to come to the phone right now, but if you leave your name, number, and a brief message, I'll return your call as soon as possible. Thanks, and have a wonderful day.
At the tone, please record your message. When you've finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Hey, Monica, it's Nathan. We had spoke yesterday about the house on Lake Nina Drive. I was just calling you back to chat a little bit more about it. I took a little bit of a closer look at things. This is my cell phone. Give me a call when you get the chance. Talk to you soon. Thanks. Bye-bye. All right, then we're going to send her a text. Hi, Monica. All right. So I'm going to send her a text, and then I think, yeah, we'll wait from hear back from her. We're going to talk with Diana later today. I'm actually probably going to give her a call. Yeah, probably like sometime between like 11:15. But it's 10:45. We're going to cut it a little bit early today, guys, just because today's my son's birthday, Noah. He's going to be waking up from his nap in a few minutes. We're bringing him to the aquarium today. So I've got that going on, and I've got some other stuff I got to get ready beforehand. So we're cutting it just a few minutes earlier today. But tomorrow I'll have an update for you on the conversation with the agent that we spoke to this morning on that house that she bought as a flip. And she's like, yo, got a hard money loan. I need some help. So I'm going to let you know, have an update for you with that conversation. I'm going to let you know how my chat went with Monica here. As far as getting closer to making an offer on this house, right? And what would those next steps look like? So if we get her to pretty much give a verbal offer and he's like, okay, yeah, he'd be willing to go that low. What do we go from there? So hopefully we'll get to talk about that. And then also I should be hearing back today about the offer that I made yesterday evening on the other house. And hopefully we'll get to chat with Eric on how the walkthrough went yesterday, and then give Paula a call and let her know, hey, this is the price that we needed at. So a lot going on. Hopefully I have a bunch of updates for you guys tomorrow. Otherwise, I will see everybody tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Eastern, only on YouTube. I will see you guys then. Otherwise, guys, have an awesome day. Take care. I'll see you soon.